start recording. Yeah, sorry about that. So let's just create another cube. Oh, this cube, but this time an easier way of doing this same thing, but less clicks, because we're interested to be more, faster. We just bevel this, and we use chamfer off, and then we just need to reduce this fraction to quite close, tight. Just make it slower. Okay, so that's the same thing, but faster. So how is it working? Let's see. I have two cubes, and you have Boolean operations, just like in Maya. You have union, you have subtraction, you have intersection, you have panels, and we'll just briefly touch these. So first, we just need to get these to intersect, and we do a union. Says script cannot be found. So okay, maybe it's because I don't have it enabled in here. Yeah, it's in the plugin manager, and now it is. So just select them both and then click on the union button. Now the union button, once we did that, you see that our mesh got subdivided once. So if I remove my highlight, if I put my highlight on, you see there's a smooth here. It says 1 and 1, and we can increase that to 2 and 2. And this basically means the first, and this is the second that we selected, right? So it's in the order of selection. And we get an offset. And this is how it kind of works. And we get this soft surface in here. It's kind of like it's fused, it's welded together, it's like cast iron. You remember we talked about that last time. And this is how it is. Then, so if we select this union, we can actually change the operation. So we have difference a minus b, and it's I selected the first one and then the second one, right? So I selected the one that's great, it's bigger, the bigger cube. And you have also, this is very important. And if you don't get like good results for some reason, sometimes you might not get very good results, is because either you need to have more more geometry in there. So you might need to just bump it up a little bit more. And the good thing about this is live, which means if I move this, it just goes, I'm not stuck with, and also I can do modification of the topology of this. So I select these faces, these vertices, and then I move them down, yeah? And I can do all kind of stuff with this. Sometimes I'm getting some problems, some issues like that. It's funny. Maybe I need to move the whole object. Yeah, this works better. Okay, so let's see. Let's remove. Let's remove the input. Okay. And now let's say, hey, I want to do something else, right? So we take a different. Let's say we take a cylinder, and we just want to punch a hole like this. Needs to go on the other side, maybe. Remember, I need to do this. Select these edges, bevel them with chamfer off. So now this one minus this one, it's important the order again. You need to drink a coffee because I think you're, you know. And this time we do difference, right? And also the offset is important, very important. So, but this one, you see there, the smooth 3 is from the first one. Now we don't have access to smooth to the first one. We only have access to the second one. So we can just apply on this one. Yeah, just divide this one. And you can see how quickly you can prototype, you know, pieces of armor or things like that. We can also, so you can have a long stack of these things. I removed the input, but input is, you know, obviously you use that just to, so you can do this. Or you can change the operation to intersection to panel. Let's try panel B minus A, and we get a panel in here. But so far it doesn't do anything. It's not kind of going in. So we need to use something called a ramp, and in the ramp we can enable, you know, one of these, this one or this one, and that just created some panels, and we can disable the wireframe, see how it looks like. And once we're satisfied with the mesh, we can select, and I think it's just clean scene. And then now the thing is just it kept those things. There is a way to not have them, but yeah, we have it all. So for if you're working with Unreal Engine 5 and these objects are, you know, static or it's not deformable like organism, like we are, you know, rig it with skinning methods, then you have no problems. So you can use millions and millions of polygons in Unreal Engine 5. There's no problem. So this, on the normal circumstance, you will see I cannot use that in a game. I'm sorry. It's too heavy, you know. But now you can use something like that without any problems. But in Unreal Engine 5, because they have the system called Nanite and so on and so on. Anyway. Yeah, Irjan, I'm recording this. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so that's one of them. Let's actually start doing this. So what I want to do, I want to use something like this as the base. Then I want to use this, maybe this shape instead of the circular one, and put some pipes in the top. The screen of the computer, maybe something like this. Probably I won't be able to finish this today, but I'll do as much as I can because I want to do a little bit more texturing with you guys. Do you have another texturing one? Whoa, calm down, boy. So, oh yeah, we have two more texturing actually. So that is very good. That is very, very good. So then we can just do modeling today, and I'll probably finish at home this model, and then we texture it next time and see how it goes. Okay. So other than that, you can use the typical subdivision tools. Actually, which is one instead? Okay, like we're going to do here. I'm just going to extrude this a couple of times. I use a multi-cut then with Shift, right click, Control. I add one here. If I want to make like a bullet train or something like that, I select all these faces on the top. I scale them down. bring them here. I add more geometry in here because I want this shape to hold better. And I just use, basically I use 3. Actually it's 6, no, 2. I use key number 2, and this is how I see it, you know, subdivided. Okay, and then we take this and we let me just Control D, duplicate this one, and I want to make like a shuttle, space shuttle something. So I take them both, I go to hard mesh, I do a union, but I divide them by 3 times. Okay, and I use offset. So so quite quick. We, you know, you can concept things and do them quickly using subdivisional subdiv modeling. Let's see, let's add some more interesting elements on the top. Let's say we want to carve it in a bit. So just kind of think plus and minus, just removing. You need to set up this mindset. So let's just bevel these. And chamfer, remember, off. You can also smooth it by yourself twice. And then we need to get the result, not the input. Yeah, so I remove the input. So I select this, and then with Shift, right? And then we look at the input. We can edit this further, scale it, and do all kind of stuff. Maybe we can put a crane in there, or I don't know. You know, it just kind of gets. And let's look at the wireframe. Sometimes you just want to see the wireframe if you have any problems. Seems okay. And what else we can? Oh, we can do some paneling. Maybe. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to duplicate these faces because I want to use these. So I'm just going to duplicate. Okay, and offset, translate them a bit, and then I'm going to extrude them in. So I'm going to select them and extrude. Give them some thickness, like that. Control 1 to isolate selection. So you see they're black now, it's just the normals are inverted. So we just need to reverse. If I'm going too fast, let me know, yeah? Too fast? But I'm just showing you a few techniques, like you can, there are many, many more out there. I inverted the normals here. Mesh display, set to face. Yeah, that's okay. So I just want to reinforce these edges, remember? So all of them which keep the shape. Bevel, chamfer, fraction. Control 1, A minus B, remove. I'm getting some problems, probably because I need to subdivide this twice maybe. I think it's going to crash. Oh no. Anyway, so it's working, right? Yeah, feel free to experiment now. And now I'm just gonna actually start working on the. But remember, don't delete it. Just clean the scene. So clean scene. Okay, that's how you get rid of all the nodes, because there's going to be a lot of nodes in here. There's a lot of networks. Just need to delete them. Cool. So now feel free to tag along. Should I share this with you? Or invite you as team members, maybe? I think you just need to make a copy board link. Okay, I'll just put it on Discord. Alex Grannon asks if we should have clean topology if this is going to be in your portfolio. Some people don't show the wireframe. Yeah, so you want to show some wireframe in some cases, but when it's like, a cool shot, like, something really nice, good lighting, good texturing, good everything, you don't care about that. You just want to make art, right? Sometimes you just want to make art. You're not interested in the technique and ways and whatever. You're just interested in the end result. So you can make your own, small asset. You show the wireframe. You show that you're good with it. But not everything requires a wireframe. So, for example, I had this robot. It was a complete mess. This one was done a year ago, I think, and the topology was disastrous. Like, I don't know if I have it here. Maybe it was in competition. Let me see. Uh, I don't even know what it is. It's not showing. Okay, it's in view profile. It's in challenges, and this one. Well, I did not won, but okay, let's see the wireframe. Okay, the wireframe. Look at that. This is terrible, but nobody cares. It just doesn't matter. Okay, so let's just go back here. So you can do a bunch of, put some notes. I think it's very important. Put some notes and connect the notes. So you keep your mind clear all the time. It's like you have some ideas, you have them in your head, but somehow when you write it down, it's like you can think of something else. It's like your mind, it's set up to remember and record those important ideas, basically. Record the important ideas, put them down on paper, and once you do that, your mind can think of the next creative process or thought, because otherwise you'll keep it cluttered with all these ideas and you don't want to let them go. You don't want to let those ideas go because you consider them important. Anyway, so just write it down. Not, I mean, I wouldn't recommend you to do a lot of this, but I think it's good. So I'm just going to use this as the glass panels, yeah. And instead of this one, what else? Maybe make a maybe make make this detachable, like this. So I'm trying to make a system where, like you've seen Matrix, right? And you know, like this robot comes and pick it up and just goes around. And the same is with this guy here. He made it a similar way with rails. So I'm just need to have in mind, because I need to have something how to grab the this container and move it around and bring it to a lab or whatever. So we kind of want that stuff. But yeah, do more. So first thing first, remember grid options. We need to be in 200, 110. I'm gonna save my scene as, put it on my desktop, container. Unfortunately, you don't have a secondary screen, but you can import. I think I'm not sure where it was. Oh, it's called image plane, and import an image. Let's see, do I have Photoshop here? No. Okay, and this one is stick to the camera. That's not good. So I'm just going to delete this one. I need to go in my 4-view camera and go to my side X. And there we use image plane, import image. Desktop, okay. I'll just scale it up like that. And one more. Just to have this in mind when I model. If you don't have a secondary screen, yeah, you have to do this. Okay, something like that. Get rid of the grid. And I think I put some reference. I'm not sure if I put it here in the modules. There's a lot of base materials that I added recently. It's in week 37 texturing. And these are for Substance Painter. You just need to drag and drop them inside Substance and integrate them in your library. I think you should really have these, because they're going to make your texturing life so much easier. Ornament brushes, I think this is for ZBrush, but not right now. Smart materials, this is a good one as well. And this is going to be for texturing. Okay, so yeah, let's just get on to texturing. So initially you need to separate, as I said earlier, separate into main shapes, and think of like pieces that you would get. You'll probably get a lot of pieces. A lot of people try to model all from one piece. Like, don't do that. That's not good. It's not good for your health. Try to make them, as many pieces as is required, basically. Nobody's going to ask you, oh, but that has too many triangles or too many pieces. If it has too many triangles, you might get that question. But So I'm just going to separate. First, we're just going to block out cylinder, right? And maybe we want to see, let's see our height. So let's see, our cylinder should be 1 meter, 150 centimeters. So this is how we make it very precise. And let's say maybe 30. Let's see, maybe 30. But I said that my cylinder is actually not going to be a cylinder. It's going to be more like triangular. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce it to 3, like that. And maybe 150. Maybe I need to increase the radius a bit. And 150, it might be too much because it's a creature. It's not a human being. So maybe if I leave it to 1 meter, it's fine. And 40. Okay. So now I want to actually get this shape. This shape here. Yeah, I'm trying to get this shape. So that's why we started with that triangle. So we just bevel the edges, basically. That's what we're going to do. And you see that we have some problems in the top and on the bottom. But that is completely fine because we don't care about those. Those will be deleted because we don't need them. So select everything. And I use Control to deselect these and press Delete. And that's it. Then I just might bevel these one more time with the middle mouse button. And so again, this is more like a concept art, or we don't care too much about polygons. So don't be too precious about, just try to make it look nice. That's what we're interested in this one. So that's one. Now in the top side, we might need a few cylinders, and in the bottom side. So let's just do that. 2 cylinders. And remember, now we are only blocking this up. Control D. And probably this is how it's going to be the front view. Okay, now in the back, there's only connected. We don't want it connected on the top side because we said that we want it to be picked up by that crane thingy. So I'm just going to bevel these a little bit. This one as well. Okay. Next, maybe we can add a glass material to this one. Looks slightly better. So we are open the hypershade, or we just right click actually, assign new material, and we get the blend and transparency, and just give it a bluish color, maybe tint. Yeah, something like that should be fine. Also, the important of the inside of the cylinder is quite important, because this one, you see, it's kind of going in, and now we just made our life a bit more miserable, because we need to carve in this shape. Yeah, we need to carve in this shape and then go in. If you see how it is going in here, it's kind of going in, and we cannot make this. I mean, if I use tab to just select these, and R to scale, and pressing shift, hold. I mean, I can do this. Maybe it works, but I don't know. Okay, so maybe just do one more time. Yeah, I don't think it works. It needs to be the same shape. But let's just keep on blocking for now. Why is this not becoming smaller? Okay. So what next? Yeah, let's deal with the main part. So cube scale, I'm only moving in on one axis because I might want to just mirror it. So I use this square just to move it on these two axes, Y and X. Getting it at the right thickness that I want. Okay. Let's turn off the grid because it's annoying. Okay, so now we just start going into component mode like face, move, using extrude. And I'm trying to make this gray part first. I'm not looking at the white bit. The white bit is extra pieces, but I'm looking at what can be made from one solid block. And then obviously we're going to carve in more. So we just use a lot of move and with the extrude in conjunction and with scale. Using multicut with control to add some loops. Let's see a little bit. Okay, there's a big carving in here where there's a lot of mechanism that goes, and we can use extrusion a couple of times just to get the right topology, or we can use multicut just to insert it like that. But it doesn't really have to be like, precisely like that. We just use that as a kind of main reference. So let's just bring a cylinder in, and we're going to use the cylinder to carve a big hole in here. Let's see where is it fitting the best. And this blockout stage is I think it's quite important because we get the right silhouette of the object, and this is very important. In games, sometimes you just need things to be very emblematic or that you can pick from a distance. They need to be very clear in the design. So just using R with extrude always. And now here we can have this arm that kind of connects and goes up. It's like it holds in place. So for that, we need a hinge. Actually, I can use the same cylinder. So I'm just going to Control D, and that's like a hinge. Obviously, we can edit this further, but okay. And then we get, we can actually carve from this. Yeah. So usually, if I want to get the right size from left and right, I bevel it. I use a multicut and I insert it in the center. So with Control Shift, and then I select that and I bevel it, and I get the right, distance, left and right. And now I'm just going to pick these 4 and extrude them. Maybe twice. Let's see. Okay. And this one will be, it's too linear. Everything seems very blocky right now. But we're going to adjust these very, very soon. Okay, so let's look at this. So kind of always go, jumping around. I don't spend too much time in one place. I think maybe this one needs more polygons. And unfortunately, if I go here, there's no way I can add now. So I might have to smooth it, but again, smoothing does this. You see, I have, if you look here down here, you can clearly see the polygons. And this is not something that we want to see in this place. So maybe I'll smooth it later. But just so you know, oh, what's here? Oh, there's a small problem in here. Control backspace. That deletes the edges with the vertices as well together. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I probably would start adding some cubes and using some booleans. Again, we could have used this if we had more of our organic shape, like softer corners. We could have just used the hard mesh plugin. But so far, I like to stay right in this way method of working. So Booleans difference. Now, always when you do a Boolean, you need to clean up, because Booleans, they like to do mess. They like to be messy. So let's turn on symmetry object X. Let's see if it's working. No, it's not. Is it object Z? Yeah, I think object Z is. So now I just need to fix these n-gons. Oh, for some reason, it doesn't like this one. Hmm? Yeah, I think it's because of the symmetry of something. I just use Control Shift to go to 90 degrees angle. And so with this one, normally you would say, hey, why don't you just do this? Because that's less polygons, right? But sometimes we want to select these edges and we want to bevel them. And sometimes you don't get the best results. Like you see here, there's some weirdness going on. So if I remove those edges and I bevel it one more time, you see now it's working. Okay, I'm sick of seeing this thing. It's just so annoying. Yeah, so probably sometimes it's just better to be careful where you end up with these. So I try to stay away from using those corners right now. Multicut. Now with symmetry, you cannot do this. You cannot cross over. So that's why I disabled symmetry. From left to right, you cannot cross over. Unless you have something on the middle like this. If you have something on the middle, then probably you'll have no problems. So you see, using booleans is quite a challenging task actually, because you have a lot of cleanup to do. Okay, cool. So let's see what we can round now, because we have these. This mouse is just. How many segments do I need? If I look closely, maybe 4. And control 1, look again. And I try to use, I'm looking at the model and it's kind of like there is an unwritten law of design where it kind of says you need those lines to converge or go in the same places. Like for example, this one goes down and this one is the opposite. It's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense, but this is something that you can, that we can have in mind when you do stuff. So let's say we want to add kind of these things. And there's a couple of ways of doing that actually. One way is to actually extrude from the mesh, and that would just probably, it's a bit more work to do, because you get the shape with multicut. Like that. Then you need to select the faces, duplicate them, and then extrude them, right? So duplicate faces, select them, and extrude them. Sometimes you get bad bad topology. You kind of need to fix it. Things like scale. So you get this kind of 90 degrees. But, you can always make just another polygon, just bring another cube. And we just want to bring it to an angle here, maybe. So if we're going to have this big circular thing here, we might, as I said, we need to look at this object and how it works with the wheel. So I might get another one, but opposite, like this. Just to kind of make it work better. So sometimes you just need to stop looking at the concept and take the design into your own hands, right? I just use that to start, and then from that moment. So we see that here is something, is not actually, is more like a D shape. Or we can have something similar. Now here is gonna be really messy, because if we carve it out right now, if I press 4, I just want to see how deep it goes inside. And 6. I just need to have a place where to bring these edges, all these edges, because it's going to be problematic. So let me just do it. Without further ado, let's just, actually let me duplicate this. Control D, because I want to use it later. And then Boolean difference. Okay. Like that. And if I want to, for example, use these, and I want to scale them flat, and I can make that D shape. And this is a, or we can just make the D shape on the top. If I use extrude, I'm having some problems here. I think because it's an n-gon, I need to start fixing it. Okay, let's see what else, what we can do now. So you see we kind of have this repetition in here now, but we don't want to have the, I mean, the shape consistency sometimes you want to have, but you see there's different shapes. You know, the circular thing, it's not going to be, unless it's something symmetrical, you know, you'll have that shape, cylindrical shape everywhere like that. But otherwise you don't want to have the same. So I'm adjusting, I'm making this slightly smaller. And in here, I might carve another one. I might carve in here just to get pipes and stuff coming out. And maybe use a multi-cut. See? And bevel it one more time. And just use extrude. Come out. And here I'll just try to plug in a few wires. But then I don't really like this flat surface. It's too, I think this is flat, this is flat, it's not working very well. So, you know, in sci-fi, you kind of need to have those 45 degrees angles. They just work better. And kind of like we try to complement this one. We try to complement this angle here. So let's try force it a little bit more. Why is not working? Okay. Like that. So this one and this one. Let's see. Can I force this one to go slightly lower? Yeah. So basically, I'm trying to complement these angles, yeah? You kind of see how it goes. Then from this one, we can make I'll probably use an actual shape. Yeah, probably I'm just going to use a different cube and use and align it to my surface here. So it was in is it modify, align tool? No, snap together tool, right? This one. And I just Control Shift clicked on it. So now I'm just going to align it properly here. And because I want to carve it, I want to give it more of an interesting shape. So probably I'm just going to bevel this before. Or maybe I can just select this face, extrude it in, extrude it out, select the edges, and bevel them. That's the other way around it. Then we just need to remember we have some loose vertices here, and we use target weld for that. Okay. And again, I want to move this according to the local surfaces. So I use Control Shift right click and change this from weld to component. And now I can move it just like that. Now, the good thing about this is that I can make this I select this edge all around and I can bevel it. And I just looks more organic. Okay, now I think it's too high and too up and is not going to be noticed. So I don't want to spend too much time on something that it's barely going to be seen. Unbevel this one. We're just going to use a Boolean on this one just to make it look like, or maybe put some handles here. So it's going to be something that you can open. Yeah, we're just going to make some handles. So if it's going to be open, then it needs to be visible. That. So I'm just going to extrude this one in like that. So now you can see that. Well, yeah, this can be opened now because it's. Yeah. Okay. Keep on moving. We don't stay in one spot too much, because otherwise you will get too fiddly and. Let's see. Can we bevel this here? Okay. Somebody says once that the future is beveled. And that's how it is. I think sci-fi, it's always using a lot of these bevels to make these 45 angles. So shift right click bevel. Let's see. Actually, I don't want to go up here. So I just stop there. I usually don't go very easily into bevels. Just wait as long as possible. But I think this one can be a good. Okay, now it's time to add another piece here. So in front here, I want to bring something outwards. And that's going to be a different piece. So you see how many pieces I'm using? Lots of it, like lots and lots. Let's see, OBS is still recording. Yes, yeah.